2025 has been a crazy, crazy, crazy year, and I'm so thankful that it's over. So let's count down my 15 favorite movies of the year. Welcome back, everyone, to Grizzly Reviews. My name is Garrett. Today, I'm going to be talking about my favorite movies of 2025. While 2025 has been absurdly depressing in so many regards, I think just overall life in the world is like super negative and depressing and such a bummer that the escape of film in this year thankfully has remained. For me, 2025 was a big year. I got out of Florida, moved all the way to Chicago, which has been so much fun. It was a pretty crazy move, and I'm really happy I did it. And thank you for everyone who supported me through this journey and supported me on my channel. I believe I just hit 900 subscribers on here, YouTube-wise, which is just astounding. I hit my goal for the year like 2 days before I was supposed to hit it. What were your favorite movies of 2025? List them all out in the comments. I can't wait to read them as we debate which movies deserve to be up on your list or not. And make sure you subscribe to my channel. I would love to hit 1,000 subscribers at some point during 2026. I used my last page in my Inside Out notebook to list all my favorite movies of the year. I'm covering them up so you can see them because no spoilers, okay? I've been using this journal for 2 years. It's time to close the book on it. And I'm gonna move on to my next journal in the new year. Before we jump into the video, I have some caveats. Number one, this is a favorites list, not a best of list. So many best of movies I haven't even seen yet, including Jay Kelly, Marty Supreme, Hedda, Hamnet, The Secret Agent, Final Destination Bloodlines, Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere, Train Dreams, No Other Choice, Warfare, It Was Just an Accident, Sentimental Value, The Ugly Stepsister, The Smashing Machine, and Song Sung Blue. Caveat number 2, I organized this into a numbered list of 15 movies because I feel like 15 perfectly encapsulates the amount of movies I loved this year, although I do have an insane amount of honorable mentions. But 15 is what I've been doing the last 2 years with this video, so I'm gonna continue that. And number 3, y'all, this is just my opinion. I'm not trying to rank like best movies, what's considered like high art film. Personally, I don't like viewing movies that way. If I'm entertained, I learned something, there's great themes, great acting. That's what I'm looking for in a movie. I really don't care about high value art in film. Like, I'm not stingy that way yet. That being said, if there is a movie that you think shouldn't be on my list, let me know in the comments below and we can have a discussion. As long as we keep it nice, that is all I'm wanting, is just positive vibes in the comments. With that being said, let's jump into my favorite movies of 2025. So first, I'm gonna do some housekeeping from my 2024 favorites video. In that video, I said I'm never ever gonna watch The Substance unless I'm with someone else. Well, I lied. I ended up buying The Substance on Blu-ray and watched it on my own, and while I did really enjoy it, I don't think it would have made my top 15 list, because if I put it in the top 15, Dune Part 2 gets kicked out, and Dune Part 2 is amazing science fiction. And while The Substance is amazing body horror, it's not a movie that I like love. I respect it, I like it, it's a good time, but it's not a favorite of mine. 2025 included a lot of movies that I saw that were re-released in theaters. I saw the extended cut of Spider-Man 2.1 when that was released. In October, I saw Scream, Candyman, and Avatar: Way of Water in theaters. Shin Godzilla got a 4K re-release in theaters. Toy Story celebrated its 30th anniversary. Jaws celebrated its 50th anniversary, so I saw that in theaters. And for its 10th anniversary, Hamilton's Pro Shot was put into theaters, so I went to go see that, and that was a phenomenal time. Now we're gonna get into my honorable mentions, and this list is going to be long because there were just so many movies that I loved or really enjoyed this year that a simple list of 15 wasn't enough to fill them. In no particular order, we've got One of Them Days, a perfect comedy. I love it. One Battle After Another, a truly epic drama that is so long. I had to use the restroom in it, and I didn't know that I was missing some of the third act, but I still had a great time despite how disgusting that world is. Like, I don't want to live in that world. That world is truly awful. The Phoenician Scheme. Look, Wes Anderson doesn't miss, and I had a great time with this movie in theaters. It was really hilarious. Michael Cera is perfect in this movie. The Long Walk was one of the hardest movies I've ever had to see in theaters. Like, it was truly difficult to keep my eyes on it the whole time. I just wanted to cover my eyes. It was so sad. Go watch my review of it. Look, I'm a big Tron fan, so I was hyped for Tron Ares, even though Jared Leto is in it. And as a Tron fan, I think Ares was actually pretty good. Yes, it kind of skips over how Legacy ends, but if we supported this movie more, I'm sure we would have gotten a sequel because they teased Garrett Hedlund and Olivia Wilde still existing on this earth. We could be cooking with a fourth Tron movie, but we failed this movie. It's a great time. Nine Inch Nails has a great score. The cinematography and visuals in it are fantastic, and it was a great thrill ride. F1 had fantastic cinematography and a great score by Hans Zimmer. One of the movies that barely didn't make the list was Mickey 17. I had a great time with this in theaters. Bong Joon-ho is a fantastic director. The cast is stunning, and I just can't say enough about Mickey 17, but it just got outshined by other movies. Bring Her Back was a really great time at the theater. It was truly scary. It had some fantastic performances, but its tone makes it not a fun watch, so I'm putting it down in my honorable mentions. Elio was a fun original science fiction movie from Pixar, but I wish we could have gotten the original version of it. I really loved the thriller of Drop, and it was a great time in theaters. Companion is another movie that I really enjoyed this year that just barely didn't make the list. Like, I had it on the list, and then I forgot about a movie that wasn't on the list, and so it got replaced by that movie on the list. All of the acting in it is fantastic. Sophie Thatcher, Jack Quaid, Harvey Guillen are all so good in this movie, and I have to point out Harvey Guillen's blue shorts because they are working overtime for me specifically. You should go into this movie without knowing anything, to watch any trailers, because there is a reveal early on in the movie that I think is a bigger surprise if you don't know what's going on, but there are even more twists and thrills, and I had a great time. Hard Eyes, a surprisingly fun Valentine's romantic comedy horror film. Mason Gooding and Olivia Holt were the stars of this movie, and they did a great job. Novocaine had Jack Quaid as an action star who can't feel pain, and it was fantastic. And The Black Phone 2 made me incredibly emotional in theaters, with Anna Laurie playing specific characters, mothers, and their connection to her. It was just a really emotional time. I cried during it, and that's why I made the list. It's time to get into the nitty gritty. So here's my top 15 favorite movies of 2025, starting with number 15. The hype surrounding Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning was pretty extreme for me. I own all the movies so far. I don't have Final Reckoning yet. I rewatched all of them in the lead up of Final Reckoning because a finale movie of a franchise is so exciting to me, and I had a really good time with Final Reckoning. It is a long, beefy movie, but that means the action scenes that we did get in this movie had time to breathe, and they could be longer. There were some that were short towards the beginning, but scenes like going into the submarine and the plane stuff at the end of the movie were totally thrilling. The score of this movie I really enjoyed. Tom Cruise knows how to make an action movie. He is a great action star. I love the work that he does in this movie. Just how he's willing to put his body on the line for these films. We all know that he broke his foot during Fallout. And I just had a blast with Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. I think it was a pretty good ending to the series. Coming in at number 14 is the campy queer horror movie Queens of the Dead. This movie is directed by Tina Romero, who is George Romero's daughter. If you don't know who George Romero is, how do you not? He is the most influential person in zombie media. Like modern day zombies, you know because of George Romero. And his daughter made such a funny movie. Now, I will say this movie is a little bit too long. However, getting to see so many queer people on screen in one movie together is fantastic. Mixing drag campiness with actors that I love and a really great premise of a movie just made for a really fun time for a movie that I got to see in theaters with friends. Like, it was a fantastic experience. Katie O'Brien is fantastic as the lead. Jaquel Spivey in this movie, oh my god, yes, thank you. Everyone in this movie did a great job, and I had a blast watching this queer as fuck zombie movie. Definitely watch this movie if you're able to. I believe it's on Shudder. I'm hoping that it's gonna get a physical release so that I can have all the movies that Jaquel Spivey's in, because I already own his Mean Girls, you know. At number 13 is Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. The structure of Frankenstein might be my favorite version the story has ever received. And I love a good Frankenstein MD rewatch if you're able to find it online, because it's not on YouTube anymore. How dare PBS take it down. The practical effects in this movie are insane. I believe there was some animatronic work, and the animatronics in this were so scary and stunning and visually jaw-dropping that I was in awe of this movie during the entire runtime. The whole production of it is fantastic. Like, the castle that Frankenstein goes to build his monster is so gothically wonderful. I love his lab in this building. Everything about this movie was fantastic. Oscar Isaac has a great performance. Mia Goth plays two characters perfectly. Jacob Elordi is a perfect Frankenstein for what this movie is going for. Narratively, this movie is so satisfying. It becomes a tale about a father and son, essentially, instead of a monster and its creator. There are those themes still there between a monster and its creator, but they do view it as father and son. And that dynamic is really wonderful because you get to see this rise of Oscar Isaac's Frankenstein working to make the monster. And when he decides that he wants to get rid of it, there's a perspective change where you follow the monster up until the end of the movie, and there's this really sweet coming together between those two characters. Spoilers, by the way, I'm so sorry. But the end of this movie is so satisfying. I really loved it. Is this my favorite Del Toro movie? No, but I still think this is one of his best. I don't know if I've ever had a franchise or a sequel in the last 2 years where there was a movie that came out in its series previously, and then there was a huge decline in ranking for its next movie. And unfortunately, I have to say my 12th favorite movie of the year is Wicked for Good. Everyone who's known me the last 2 years knows that Wicked was my second favorite movie of 2024. I adore this movie so much. I saw it so many times in theaters. Part 1 is a perfect adaptation of Act 1 of the musical. So the hype of For Good was already there for me. And while I do have a ton of problems with the second movie narratively, it is a mess. I do enjoy seeing this cast and this world put to screen. Like, the beginning of the movie, I was still in awe of Oz. It was such a fun time in the theater. I just haven't gone to see it in theaters again since my first viewing. It's not that movie that fills me with so much emotion and love and hope and everything else that the first movie did, which is why I kept going back to see it in theaters. The first Wicked movie feels so safe to me, and this one, I just have like so many complaints about it, but I still love that it exists. Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande continue to have stellar performances as Elphaba and Glinda in this movie. I am so glad we got back to go to Oz for part 2 of the story. I just hope this is the end. I'm good. I don't need any more Wicked. We're good. I got introduced to Ana de Armas in Knives Out and No Time to Die, hilariously movies that Daniel Craig is also in. So with the popularity of John Wick's franchise, I was so happy to hear that they were expanding the universe for spin-offs. So at number 11, I have Ballerina from the world of John Wick. I really love this movie. There's something about the John Wick films and their dedication to doing as much as they can practically, stunt-wise, action-wise. You can count how many bullets people are using in their guns to what they actually would be when they need to reload. Everything about these films I really love. The timeline for it is not great when a certain character comes back. This is supposed to take place in between Chapter 3 Parabellum and Chapter 4. So when a certain character arrives towards the beginning of the third act, you're like, why is this character showing up? Spoilers, I'm going to reveal it by the way. John Wick is hired in this movie to fight Ana de Armas, so she does not start a war between other factions within like the spy assassin world. And Keanu Reeves' appearance doesn't take away anything from the movie. I think it's really special that he gives Ana de Armas the chance to get the revenge that she wants to get. There is one reveal that I'm like, why did we do this if we're just gonna get rid of that character later on? I do believe this was Lance Reddick's final film appearance, so rest in peace. I don't know how 5 movies in they can keep making such original club spaces that every single one is so visually appealing and interesting that I'm in awe of the originality these movies bring. I loved Ballerina. You definitely need to see it. I hope that we get a sequel to this movie and that we expand the John Wick universe even further because of the aesthetic of these films I love. It's no secret that I like the Avatar movies. Like, who wouldn't like these movies? Narratively, they might not be the best, but visually, these movies are a true spectacle that are must-see movies in theaters. So going into Fire and Ash, I was trepidatious about this movie. I was hoping that it would be good, and in my opinion, it was so fantastic that I have to put it at number 10 on my list. I really don't understand why people are calling this a copy of Way of Water when obviously it is the second half of what Way of Water does. Now, I will say Disney and James Cameron should have been advertising this movie as the second half of Way of Water. It's not a situation like where Across the Spider-Verse where you know this is half of a story and they haven't made the next half of it. Way of Water, you're thinking this is its own movie, and then going into Fire and Ash, this is its own movie, when both of them together are the second movie in a trilogy, quote unquote. Like if we get 4 or 5 Avatar movies, those should be what ends the franchise. A true trilogy then, because James Cameron just loves to make movies. These movies are absolutely fantastic. I loved everything about Fire and Ash. It is an epic movie with so much going on. Narratively, I adore it. I love what Quaritch is going through. I love what Neytiri is going through. She's such a racist in this movie, and I love them being able to do that to a character that is so beloved and giving her some serious flaws to overcome. And I'm just really impressed that James Cameron would do that with Neytiri. Loak is the narrator of this movie, and I think it's really special in him dealing with the guilt of Neteyam's death, his brother. And while he continues to not listen to his parents, the journey that he goes in this movie of earning honor and respect among those around him, I really loved. I've only seen this movie in theaters the one time. I am really wanting to go back for a second viewing just because of how long it is. Varang might be the best original villain we've seen in a movie in quite some time. She is so scary. The Fire Tribe are scary just in general by how they completely abandon the laws of Awa. And all this is doing is making me want to go to Animal Kingdom, to go to the world of Avatar so much more. I haven't been yet, and I really want to. I even think the score in this movie was way better than the second one. And the fight scene at the very end of this film, that's like a half-hour long, huge battle. It's an epic movie. It's so fucking epic. You can never get me to hate Avatar Fire and Ash. I love it. At number 9, we have the streaming movie that is breaking every record possible in K-pop Demon Hunters. Just on the trailer alone, I was hyped for this movie. So when it was finally released, I was there day one watching it, and I loved it. And I've seen it so many times at home. I even got to see it all by myself in an empty theater when it was released the second time for its sing-along in AMC. Now, while I wish it wasn't the sing-along version with the lyrics during the songs, I had a great time in theaters with it nonetheless. It is so funny. The animation style is fantastic. I love how absurd it gets with its character design, and I love how it breaks rules of animation. Sometimes having characters with huge bendy legs when they're singing Soda Pop, that I just like. I love everything about this movie. Its narrative structure, however, for me is lacking. Once we get to the point in the story of Rumi's patterns are open and out for everyone to see, and the fallout that brings between the members of Huntrix, the movie becomes very paint by the numbers after that. Like, you can kind of tell where everything's going. I do think the scenes in the third act are really important though, and lead to a satisfying conclusion. The music is what makes this movie fantastic. I love all of the original songs in this film. Please don't ever make me rank the songs in K-pop Demon Hunters, because that will break my brain, because I love them all so equally. K-pop Demon Hunters is incredible. We all know this. We're gonna move on. My 8th favorite movie of the year, the only Marvel movie that I really enjoyed, was Thunderbolts. The way that this movie handles mental illness, mental health in a superhero film is something I've never seen before. Florence Pugh's Yelena is baby girl to me. I want to protect and keep her safe so much. I just really connect with this cast so much. Yelena and Bob's depression is handled so well in this film, and while they aren't like fixed, the fact that they found a community, a support system, a team of people to be with, I super love. Thankfully, I got to see this movie before the new Avengers thing was spoiled by Marvel itself. Like, I think we could have kept going a few more weeks without having to release the new Avengers stuff. But the fact that those movie poster billboards led into Lilo and Stitch, I really love. I think Disney has some problems with the way they decide to market their movies. They're all about business, all about making money. Sometimes it's nice to just see them have fun with it. And I think what they did with the new Avengers marketing was a good idea. They should have just waited a bit longer to do it. The action in Thunderbolts is fantastic. I'm glad that the finale is not so action heavy. Like, Yelena gets to show her parkour stuff, but it is really about the depression that her and Bob are feeling and those characters coming together. The fact that the problem is resolved with a hug at the very end, I really just adore. Sentry is also such an OP character. The one shot of them fighting Sentry in the Avengers Tower was fantastic. I did not know I was going to love the sequel to Zootopia as much as I did. Zootopia 2 is fantastic. I don't think there is anything wrong with the second Zootopia movie. I am just flabbergasted at how much I adored it, seeing it in theaters. The level of emotion that I was feeling during it was extreme. I did not expect Zootopia 2 to make me like sob, cry, in theaters. Shakira has an excellent song with Zoo in this movie. I love the story of Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde that continues with this film. Fortune Feimster voices Nibbles, and that character is the best addition to this movie. I was laughing my butt off so much at almost everything Nibbles said. And a lot of the stuff that Nibbles says is so adult humor based that a lot of kids aren't gonna get it. But I just like, I had so much fun with Nibbles. Zootopia 2 includes some of the darkest and disturbing villains that we've seen Disney put out in quite some time. You would think that Jennifer Goodwin voicing Judy Hopps in these movies would lead her to be a better person IRL, but I don't know if she actually watches the movies that she makes. Because thematically, Zootopia 2 is so rich. And I'm not in a place to discuss like the themes of Zootopia 2. I'll happily make a second video on Zootopia that we can get really deep into. And I don't want to like spoil what's happening either. So like if you want a Zootopia video, I'll happily make one. I just adored everything about Zootopia 2. It was one of the best theatrical experiences I had this year. With that, I think we should move on to the next movie. I don't think there's gonna ever be a scarier time of day than 2:14 a.m. because at number 6, Weapons was an astounding time at the theaters. I had so much fun with Weapons. I love its non-linear but linear story structure by Zach Kreger in how you spend some time with a character and then you switch to a different character, you go back in time a little bit, and then you go further on in the timeline, and then you go to the next character, go back into the timeline later on, and like it just repeats until we get to this amazing ending of a movie with one of the best original horror villains we've had in a long time. This movie puts you through the ringer so often. It talks about addiction in a way that I really like. The characters are all fantastic. This movie is surprisingly very funny and has one of the funniest third acts in a horror movie I've ever seen. Gladys is remarkable. I love her so much, but I hate her so much. I thought the cinematography was fantastic. It's one of the better looking horror movies of the year. Just experiencing this movie in a theater, same with Barbarian. I'm not gonna forget seeing this movie in theaters. It is so ingrained in my brain with how much I loved the experience of this movie. That's leading to its really high ranking of my favorites list. So let's move on to my favorite 5 movies of the year. It's no secret I love the Knives Out movies. I love Knives Out itself the most. It is the best movie in the trilogy, in my opinion. I have its poster on my wall. I'm cutting to it right now so you see it. It's maybe my favorite movie poster that I own. So coming in at number 5, Wake Up Dead Man was an extremely fantastic movie. It's one that I wish I got to see in theaters because the lighting itself on this film is fantastic. Josh O'Connor's performance is revolutionary. He plays maybe my favorite priest I've ever seen put to film. I am someone who has barely any crossover with religion. I was raised kind of Lutheran, but in the way that we are holiday-based religious. Like when Christmas or Easter would come around, we would watch religiously based Christmas or Easter things. Like I've seen The Passion of the Christ too many times for me to ever want to watch it again. All that to say about my religious upbringing is to discuss how Wake Up Dead Man talks about religion in a sense to where I actually kind of understand why people would buy into all of this, the sense of community that they bring, the loving relationships that you can join. Yes, there are extremely negative sides to religion, which Benoit Blanc discusses during this movie. I like that there's no good or bad side to religion in this film. We get a very gray picture of what religion can bring as a whole. And everything Rian Johnson has made, I love. Obviously, all 3 Knives Out films. I love his direction in Breaking Bad. I adore The Last Jedi. I am a Last Jedi truther till the day I die. So Wake Up Dead Man just has everything that I love. I think it might be the best script of the year. I would love to be able to read it because I think that Rian Johnson just has amazing writing skills. Daniel Craig as Benoit Blanc is obviously good in this movie. He is fantastic in all 3 of these films. And there's one scene that had me sobbing. I wasn't expecting to cry during this movie. I don't even expect myself to cry every time I watch Knives Out, the first one, but that flashback with Harlan and Ana de Armas in the first movie makes me cry. And then the scene with the receptionist that Josh O'Connor is talking to on the phone makes me sob so much in this movie. Her acting over the phone is so good. The tone change that happens of the comedy of him wanting to like get through this phone call because she keeps talking, and then the switch of like her asking if she can have some help from Josh O'Connor, and how he puts himself back to Jesus. Like he is fighting most of this movie and he chooses not to fight in this moment. I really love, and he gives in to her, he helps her, and I'm crying. She feels so alone, and I feel the same way, girl. I love Wake Up Dead Man. It's number 5 on my list. My fourth favorite movie of the year is the best romantic comedy movie I have ever seen, with Eternity. First and foremost, the cast of this movie is fantastic. Elizabeth Olsen is fantastic as the female lead. Miles Teller and Caleb Turner are equally as fantastic. Like, this love triangle that's happening in this movie, I adore. I love the way this movie talks about romance and love. I love the way that the afterlife is depicted. I love the humor in this movie. I love Divine Joy Randolph in this movie. Her acting makes me feel so safe and comfortable. Like every time she's on screen, I'm getting the biggest hug from someone. Her character is like so centered and specific, and Divine Joy Randolph should get an Oscar nomination for supporting actress in a role, but she won't get this because this movie is going to be overlooked entirely. I love this movie so much. I was sobbing the last what felt like half hour of this movie, just endless tear after tear after tear. It was non-stop crying. John Early is fantastic in this movie as well. I love how gay this movie is. I love that people are okay with characters wanting to be with other guys. Like, this whole movie itself was everything to me, and I can't believe it's only 4th on my list. I've never had a movie emotionally hit me the way this one did. Like, I've never cried that long in a movie theater before. You'll get individual scenes that get me to cry, but it's like scene after scene after scene of heartbreaking stuff, and then a perfect ending that encapsulates everything good about Eternity. There's no negative. This movie is a perfect 10 out of 10 for me. I loved Eternity. So my top 3 movies of the year. This is really exciting. I have so much love for all 3 of these movies. We're going to get into my number 3 movie of the year with Yorgos Lanthimos' Begonia. Y'all, Begonia is a roller coaster ride like I've never seen before. It's one of those movies where a woman gets kidnapped and she's stuck in a situation that she can't get out of, and I love the way this movie handles its questions of what is real, what is actually going on. There is an actor slash character that is on the spectrum in this movie, and the level of acting that they give is truly phenomenal. What happens to that character, I don't think needed to happen the way it does. Like, it hit me in a way that, like, this movie doesn't make me feel safe in that scene, but I just had to like cover my eyes during it. The ending of Begonia is the best plot twist I've ever seen in a movie. I saw this in a movie theater that unfortunately was not able to capture the entire frame on the screen, so I was dealing with stuff on the ceiling and stuff on the bottom of the screen. So I can't wait to own the 4K for this movie so I can watch it in my own home. Emma Stone and Jesse Plemons are remarkable in this movie. I just love Begonia. I'm trying not to spoil anything about it at all because I want you to go into this movie not knowing what's going on, not knowing what is real. And I just hope you enjoy it as much as I did. It's my 3rd favorite movie of the year. At number 2, a surprise loser in this ranking, if you will. Shockingly, it's not my number 1 favorite movie of the year. When I walked out of this movie in theaters, I was like, this is my favorite of the year. It is perfect. It is hitting me in a way that I am making a decision to better my life and follow something that the character is doing in this movie. It wrecked me emotionally. Sinners is my 2nd favorite movie of the year. I adore this movie. I adore this cast. I adore everything about this film. The amount of time you've spent with these characters and Sinners building up to this amazing one-shot musical dance scene. It is truly magical work by Ryan Coogler. And then you get the devastating second half of this film when the vampire starts showing up, and everything that every character does, I feel in this movie. I love it so much. The quick little review that I made using a song from Why Am I So Single perfectly encapsulates my feelings on this movie. I think everything about it is perfect. There's no complaints that I have whatsoever. Production design is incredible. Cinematography is revolutionary. I love that this movie is the first, I believe, film to let a woman use IMAX cameras. I could be wrong about that. I'll double check and add it if it's correct. Michael Jordan should get an Oscar nomination for main actor. Wunmi Masaku should get a supporting actress nomination at the Oscars. Miles Catan gives one of the best first acting performances I've ever seen in a movie. He is truly revolutionary as Sammy in this film. Spoilers for Sinners, because I need to talk about why this movie is so special to me. When Sammy decides that he wants to move to Chicago, the day that I saw this movie in theaters, I went to a Dolby theater with my best friend down in Florida. I knew in my brain that I was about to tell her I got this amazing offer to move up to Chicago. I've been debating on it. Here's the information that I know. What do you think about it? I knew that I was going to have that discussion with my friend Bree after this movie. And when I saw this movie, how it hit me emotionally, how Sammy, spoilers, decides to move to Chicago. I come out of this movie, it's the best movie of the year. I tell my friend, I've been given an opportunity to move to Chicago. I'm going to take it. It wasn't a question of whether I should or shouldn't. This movie made me realize I need to make better changes in my life. I need to move out of this place that I'm so sad and depressed living at, and to just do something to change my life for good. And Sinners was revolutionary in my brain for that. I will never forget Sinners. I am so excited to watch it. It's probably going to be the movie I watch New Year's Eve, because I usually watch like a favorite movie of mine. Because I haven't even seen Sinners with the IMAX aspect ratio yet. I have only seen the Dolby Theaters version of this movie, and I think it was a perfect theatrical experience. I wouldn't give anything up to see it in IMAX first, but I am so excited for the aspect ratio changes in this movie. I cannot wait. And that, ladies and gentlemen, they and thems, is going to bring us to my favorite movie of 2025. And that movie is Superman. I cannot tell you how much I love about Superman, but I'm gonna try. I saw this movie 4 times in theaters. It is the best superhero movie ever made. It instills such hope in me about humanity and about life and about the good that someone can do, and the optimism that this movie brings, and how it challenges that, and how Lex Luthor challenges Superman's humanity, and everything about this movie. I love. The score in it is fantastic. The one-shot fight scene with Mr. Terrific and its needle drop is just James Gunn perfection. This was James Gunn's year to lose, in my opinion. I love his Guardians films so much. I hold them so close to my heart that I already was so excited for the Superman movie. I haven't really felt any attachment to any Superman before. Henry Cavill is fine. He looks the part, but I don't love his acting. And David Corenswet is the perfect little boy Superman. He is also baby girl to me as well. I want to protect this Clark Kent Superman so much. The pacing of the Superman film is relentless. The interview scene between Clark Kent and Lois Lane is fantastic. I love the script for this movie. It's my new I'm feeling depressed. I need to take my mind off of how I'm feeling. I'm going to put a movie on to make me feel better movie. Like, I adored Superman endlessly. I'm going to say it again. It's the best superhero movie ever made. There has never been a superhero film that fills me with hope and inspiration the way that this Superman movie does. You might have better quote unquote movies in general from other franchises. However, for what a superhero movie should make me feel, Superman takes the cake, and I will love it forever and ever and ever. So there you have it, folks. Superman is my favorite movie of the year. What did you think about my list? Let me know everything in the comments down below. I loved 2025 in film. It was remarkable. It was incredible. It was one of my favorite years of movies ever. It was so hard for me to put this list together. I just liked so many movies this year. I can't wait for everything that 2026 has in store for me, both in life and with film in general. If there is some interest, perhaps I'll make my most anticipated movies of 2026 video. Other than that, thank you so much for an incredible 2025. If you like this video, please give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe to my channels. And until next video, goodbye!